welcome to day 27 of my 40-day prayer condition for President Trump and America here on a fly on heaven's wall. Just a short observation today. Our country is essentially at war with itself. And I can tell you that the nature of this fighting is eternal. What exactly is going on in our country? It's really very simple. Various groups of people are trying to use the government to force other groups of people to adopt their way of life. And these groups of people have infiltrated government in order to turn it or bend it to their will. So we have various groups of Americans who believe that it's perfectly okay to use the violent force of government to compel against their will other Americans to live according to the lifestyle that they choose. Of course, that is completely un-American. It's immoral. It's unethical. It's anti-freedom. It's everything the founding fathers of America loathed about Europe. Our founders were brilliant and inspired by God to come up with a system that was designed to nip this whole problem in the bud. And its core mechanism was the insistence on individual freedom and the existence of absolute rights. And to ensure that individual freedom and absolute rights did not get steamrolled by government, they created a system of limited government in which they stated that the only power the government has are these specific enumerated powers. And they created the Bill of Rights to insist that each of these rights were rights that government had no power whatsoever to monkey with. And yet the government found ways to monkey with them. So the only way to solve the problem that we have today between the two primary groups of Americans, the liberals and the conservatives, is to return to the core values of America, which is individual freedom and absolute rights. If we don't do that, then America will steadily move forward to greater and greater polarization as all the various competing groups get sucked into the two largest groups. They are now competing for absolute power in government and then trying to use government as a means to force others to live the way they want them to live. And it's wrong. The fact is, conservatives are less guilty of this than liberal progressives. But they still do it. And that's why you hear all this talk about wanting to create various laws to oppress different groups of people. The solution is freedom. People have a right to live the life they want to live. And it doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's not your business. If you don't like their influence in the society in which you live, then you have a duty to persuade them. Not through force of arms, through force of reason. So if we want to overcome the problem America has right now, if as conservatives or as liberals, as supporters of Trump or enemies of Trump, if we want the country to find unity and reestablish itself as a harmonious society, there's only one way, and that is to return the focus of America to individual freedom, to rights that cannot be infringed upon, and to government that is severely limited in what it is allowed to do in that society. And if that's not the route that Americans want to take, then they will get the civil war that they're angling for. And if they don't get the civil war, they will get the tyranny. And then eventually they will get the civil war. Please pray with me. Lord, our Father, our parent, we are your family. All human beings are your family. America is a national family. And we're all fighting against each other like the most dysfunctional family that ever existed. Father, I am just mortified at the loss of the American ideal. That our nation was founded and spent more than 100 years living with the idea that a man was free to live his life as he saw fit. But bit by bit, people created ideas and infiltrated government with the sole purpose of oppressing others. Father, I pray that we can really come to our senses and understand that each human being has an individual truth body, has a right to live their life as they see fit, whether it's sinful or not. Just as you allowed Adam and Eve to fall in the garden, so you also allow human beings to make their own choices. Jesus did not come and impose anything upon people. Unlike Muhammad, Jesus came and only taught the concept of unconditional love and living for the sake of your others and doing good to your enemies. Because Jesus represented you. And you do not have enemies. You do not impose your will. You do not use violence and force. That was the new message Jesus brought. That is the message of Christianity. And that's the message of all enlightened people. Father, I pray that as Americans we can get that. I believe that Donald Trump is trying to bring these traditional American ideals back into favor. He's trying to restore essential freedoms to Americans. He's trying to restore the concept of absolute rights. And his drain the swamp mantra is an effort to reduce the size and scope of government and to make it more limited as it was envisioned. Pray that you will be with him every day, Father, as he strives to do this, to not forget his mission and his goals, and to not forget those who elected him. And as well, to not forget those who voted against him, but who are still American citizens and deserve to be represented. Father, we can't do this without you. America without you is bound to become just another version of the Soviet Union or North Korea. This is the way of human nature. America is the nation it is, and it has the history that it has. It's good history because of its reliance upon you through Jesus, whose teachings embodied goodness, morality, ethics, fairness, love, concern, hope, volunteerism, and all the great and good attributes that make America unique in the world. Father, we need you in our country. We need you in our individual lives. When we confront others who want to control us or fight with us, Father, we need you in our hearts to help us to remember to love them. Even as we oppose things that they attempt to do because it's bad for the nation. We cannot confuse our opposition to their sinful behavior with opposition to them as people. We have to remember that. They're our family. In true love. Amen. Thank you again for joining me. And please subscribe to A Fly on the Wall YouTube channel. And like the videos and spread them as much as you can. Share them across your social media. And let's try to make a real difference for America. need to try to spark a great awakening, the third great awakening for America.